Hi, I'm Jack Ireland and I'm submitting this podcast as part of my sports science degree at Bangor University. Today we'll be on the trampoline, looking at how to perform a tuck-back somersault. Before we get into that though, I should mention that trampoline is a very dangerous sport and you should only attempt moves within your skill level and under the supervision of a qualified coach. First off, we need to make sure that we are properly warmed up. Remember, warming up, stretching and massages diminish the harmful effects of eccentric exercises. With all this bouncing, eccentric contractions happen very frequently, but good luck finding someone who will massage your legs after every session. Hey, before we get into this, please bear in mind that this is a tutorial aimed at people who are at least well practiced in the basic trampoline moves, body landings, and have good height and enough confidence to attempt the somersault. I'm also assuming that you are practiced in the front somersault too. Although this tutorial will help you with the back somersault, please do not attempt the move before consulting your coach. Okay, so the tuck back is an intermediate move, but can be really dangerous if it all goes wrong. So first there's a few things we need to go over. Firstly, the back landing. It replicates the takeoff for the back somersault. You should try and make the takeoff phase of every move look exactly the same. Look here how I really lift my hips up and keep my eye on the mat as long as I can. This should be exactly the same for the tuck back somersault. Make sure you practice this upward phase as much as you can. You really want to replicate the straight takeoff for the somersault. Other moves you could practice are the back pullover and the flat back landing. These moves are great for practicing rotating backwards where you can't see exactly where you're going. Okay, if you feel like you're ready to start the back somersault but perhaps a bit nervous to try, ask your coach to put you in the overhead rig like I'm doing here. For the first couple of tries, push your hips up towards the roof, tuck hard, then look for the cross on the way back down. Try and remember that nice straight back landing takeoff that we practiced before. After a few attempts, watch the front mat during takeoff and see how long you can keep your eyes on it. Okay, let's have a look at our guinea pig on the screen and see if we can pick out a few faults. Right, what do you think went wrong here? It certainly wasn't a bad somersault for a beginner. There can definitely be some improvements made. You didn't really hold that nice straight back landing takeoff that we practiced before, and the tuck shape wasn't that great either. Also, in the tuck shape, the hands should come round and contact the shins, not be contacting the back of the hamstrings. However, she did land on the cross, which is good progress for a beginner. Let's have a look at a few more examples. You can already tell that she's jumping a bit higher in this one, which is great. It allows you to demonstrate that nice straight takeoff and allows room for a kick out, which we'll go on to discuss later on. Again, this somersault was alright for a beginner, but she travelled back quite a lot in this one. Why did she do this? Because she leant back on her heels a little bit too much before takeoff. Our bouncer has a bit of a problem with leaning back on takeoff, as she does it again here. This problem can be solved quite easily though, by keeping your eyes on the mat longer on takeoff, and leaning forward slightly so your body weight is more over your toes. Once you and your coach are happy and you're getting your somersaults quite consistently to feet, you can ask to be moved on to try and get supported in the belt. The belt allows a little more freedom than the rig does, but still lets the coach step in to make sure you're safe all the time. As soon as you and your coach feel comfortable, remove all the support and try practicing the somersault completely on your own. It's really important not to rely on these supporting techniques, so as soon as you've done a few good somersaults in the belt, ask your coach to remove the belt and see if he can step in for you. That way, you'll learn to do the somersault completely on your own. So now you can do a somersault, the real work begins. You need to raise your standards and start working your somersault towards a competition level, and there are lots of aspects to improve in order to do this. First, you've got to build up to the necessary height to make the move look aesthetically pleasing. This has a lot to do with your bouncing technique. Arms go up in front on the way out of the bed and hold at the top. They then drop down to the sides on the way back down. This combination lifts you up higher and allows you to bounce in a rhythm in order to maintain your stability in the bed. It's not so obvious when looking at someone bounce, but footwork is also very important for maintaining height. You start with a big push out from your heels and then onto your toes on the way out of the bed. Then hold your toes pointed for aesthetics. Then you push your heels hard into the bed on landing and repeat. Don't feel embarrassed in practicing this on the floor, because getting it wrong on the trampoline could result in an accident. Next up is the arm set. What should I do with my arms just before I take off the back somersault? If you look closely, you can see that the arm swing changes on the bounce before the back somersault starts. This is called the arm set, and it's used to gain height at the start of routines or before practicing a somersault. To perform the arm set, you lift up in front and hold like a normal bounce. But as soon as you start to descend, you bring your arms down the side slightly faster than usual, ready to bring them up as you are contacting the bed, aiming to be completely straight as the bed enters its maximum depression. This maximizes the force you put into the trampoline, meaning you will bounce out higher. Last but not least is the kick out. The longer your body is, the slower you will spin. So until you build enough height and power, the kick out will be difficult to get right. In competition, a judge will deduct points if the kick out isn't at 12 o'clock, so it's important to get it right. It requires a lot of power and a tight tuck in the first phase of the somersault. So once you've got your arm swing, footwork, arm set and kick out sorted, well done, you completed a good back somersault. See if you can move on and challenge yourself by doing multiple good somersaults at the same time, or adding in shape jumps in between, and start adding yours into a routine as well. Thanks to Sapphire, Kirsty and Georgia for helping me make this tutorial, and good luck in the future practicing your back somersaults.